Hey guys, so I'm here to do my August wrap up. I finished 4 books in the month of August. You know, it's whatever. And 3 of them are super tiny, and one of them I read most of in the month of July. So I just didn't read a lot in the month of August. I haven't read a lot lately in general. Good thing I read a ton at the beginning of the year. I am going to rank these in order of least favorite to most favorite, which is it's not difficult, but I do want to say that I really, really liked all of these books. So I don't have a book that I read in the month of August that I was like not really keen on. I gave 2 of the books 3.5 stars and 2 of them 4 stars, and I really, really liked all of them. So I'm going to say my least favorite of my books that I enjoyed in the month of August is Kaibyo, The Supernatural Cats of Japan by Zach Davison, and this is co-published by Chin Music Press and Mercuria Press. I purchased this at Indie Book Festival here in Portland, which is actually happening currently if y'all are interested. Oh wait, I don't know when I'm going to post this video. Never mind. Anyways, I get distracted so easily. I purchased this at Indie Book Festival like a year or 2 ago. I'm not really sure when. There's different, or at least there was. Now in the time of the pandemic, there's no physical book festival, but there were little tents, and so different presses had their own little tents, and so I try to purchase a book from the ones that I'm interested in or the ones that I enjoy. Anyways, this book is about the supernatural cats of Japan, and it is an absolutely beautiful book. It's a paperback with a dust jacket, which is interesting, but this is under the dust jacket. It is beautiful. The end pages have the same style of artwork, and this book basically just goes into the different types of cats and how naughty they have been, and like into the history of why people thought this. There's a really interesting, so there's the split-tailed cat, there's the changing cat. My favorite, I think, is the what is it called? Bakeneko Yujo, Bakeneko Prostitutes, the story. It says the story of the faithful cat. Maybe that's a painting. But anyway, so basically it talks about these cat prostitutes who are women that were, it talks about how like the story of this probably came up because prostitutes didn't want to eat in front of their customers, so they would have to like wait until the middle of the night when the men were asleep and then go and like eat in the corner. And so somehow this like translated to that, and then the women kind of like leaned into it a little bit, like that they were changing cats basically from cats to women that would sleep with men and stuff. And I don't know. I just thought that was like super, super funny. But this book is absolutely gorgeous. It is quite slim. On the back it says the cost is $18.95, which is kind of high. I don't remember. Sometimes they give you like a little discount at the book festival. But I think it is absolutely lovely. I think it'd be a really great little like present for someone maybe, and just like a really nice kind of like art piece and history piece that goes into all the different types of cats of Japan that are supernatural. It is mildly disturbing at the very beginning. They talk about a couple of things that they do to cats to make them not become supernatural because the Japanese people were like afraid of them becoming the supernatural cats. So there's like a couple of like not nice things that they do to cats, but it's just like briefly mentioned, and it's all in historical context, so it's not like there's like descriptions of what they did to the cats or anything. Like it's not overly descriptive. It's just very stated matter of factly. So I don't think it's like too bad, but some people are quite sensitive about damage, torture, not torture. You know what I'm trying to say. Okay. So anyways, my next favorite book was the book that I was supposed to finish in July for the Indie Press Project and didn't, and that is That We May Live, shiny cover, and this is from Calico. Oh my gosh, Calico Press, and this is so great. It is speculative Chinese fiction, so there's, I don't know how many stories, like 7 or 8. It's not obviously super big, so there's not that many. I don't remember a ton of this book. I just was flipping through to kind of try to refresh my memory, and things that I remember are there's like a story involving mushrooms and like going and living in a mushroom, maybe a story about like a disappearing village, a story about a news anchor woman who is like having sex with the boss, and things are kind of like weird over there. There's another story about how maybe women turn into trees or trees turn into women, something of the nature. Plot I don't like 100% remember, but I do remember that all of these gave me the same like pretty good feeling of just like fleshy kind of like weird stuff, you know. I like kind of gross things. It's not super gross, I don't think, but it's definitely not for everyone. But I really enjoyed it. So if you have similar taste to me, I would definitely recommend. Yeah, there's one story that kind of reminds me a little bit of Fight Club, because it's like a guy who like can't get a job or something, and he accidentally gets roped into being a DJ at a wedding, and then he's like, hey, you know, like what's stopping me from just like taking like work basically. So he dresses up and like goes to meetings and like does all this stuff and like pretends to be a worker person, but then he hires someone else. He like has someone else join his crew, and the reason it reminds me of Fight Club is just because it kind of like gets out of hand, where like, you know, he has like his number 2, his number 3, his number 4, and these people are just referred to by numbers, and then eventually like there's people at the meetings that he's never seen before, and it's just kind of like all these people who don't really have any ambition, don't really have anything going on in their life, but they just like step into a person's life and you know, try it out and like do it, and the whole point is to be a wanderer and not to be like stuck in a specific job for the rest of your life. And I don't know, I thought it was interesting. I really liked this. The next one that I have is The Only Plane in the Sky, An Oral History of 9/11 by Garrett M. Graff. And this is for the BookTube prize, so I will link my review of it below. I'll have it timestamped. I was supposed to finish this in July, don't tell Robert. But you know, I knew where it was going, and you know, it's just people telling their stories. Again, I will link it below. I will say this was pretty emotional at times, at other times frustrating, but in general, I thought it was a really great read, and I'm glad that I have this on my shelves, and I will keep this forever. And then my favorite book of the month was my Indie Press Project book for the month of August, which is Paradise Rot by Jenny Haval. I will link my review of this below too, and this press, oh gosh, I should know, Verso, of course. This is a Verso book. And excuse me before Michael comes after me. Translated by Marjam Idris, and she is Norwegian. She is Norwegian. And yeah, this was so good. Also like kind of disgusting, but also sexy and weird, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Again, if you're interested in the plot, I guess since I'm giving away a copy of this book, so maybe I should say a little bit more about it, but I already did a review, so I don't really want to. But it gave me so many good feelings. It gave me wanderlust feelings. It gave me like, I don't know, lots of feelings. I really enjoyed it. If you're interested in winning a copy of this book, am I going too fast? I don't know. Please tell me in the comments below that you would like to win a copy of Paradise Rot. I will also, again, link my video below, so if you're like, oh, I'm not sure, you can watch it and then make your determination based on a video where I talk about the book right after I read it and not many months after. Is this cutting out right now? I'm very irritated. Oh, well, I'm getting a phone call anyways. Okay. Sorry. So let me show you the books that I acquired in the month of August. Those are the books that I read. And again, if you want to win a copy of Paradise Rot by Jenny Haval, let me know in the comments. So the first book that I have to show you that I purchased / received in the month of August. And again, I only show the books that I have not read. So I have other books that I acquired in the month of August, but I have since read them, is The Color of Air by Gail Tsukiyama. And I don't know anything about this. It says a national best-selling author. I have never heard of this person before. But, you know, yeah, if you've read that, let me know what it's like. Let's see. Then, did I mention that was my indispensable book from Powell's? I'm subscribed to Powell's Indispensable, so every like month and a half or 2 months or so they send a book and then extra goodies, and sometimes they send ARCs, and they sent an ARC with that. It's the same publisher, so I assume they're just like trying to get the word out more. I've actually not heard of this publisher. Oh, I see. It's not a publisher. It's an imprint of HarperCollins, but it's called I should have figured because it's called Harper Via. But anyway, so it's from the same imprint called The Lost Shtetl. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. By Max Gross, and this is what I guess the cover looks like. I assume at this point. Yeah, it came out in October. I'm not a huge ARC fan personally. I like a good finished copy. My personal favorite is a trade paperback version of books. But it's kind of nice, I guess, because I can read it or at least start it, and if I like it, then I can purchase like the real finished copy. So anyways, that came with my indispensable, and then they always come with like a little like booklet that has an interview and stuff. Oh gosh, then I got Scorpion Fish by Natalie Bakko. Why is this? Have every single one of these authors have, man, this lighting is like, I think this is a little bit better. Bakupoulos. Not right. Yeah, okay, it's Athens. This sounds like a very Greek name to me. And so this book I got from my Literati subscription. Maybe I am subscribed to too many book things. I don't know. But so they send like a little letter indicating why they picked the book or maybe about the book or something. So yeah, I have literally no idea. I have not heard of this. I don't know. But her work is and it is published by Tin House, and I do trust Tin House, so that makes me feel confident and comfortable. Then I have a couple more ARCs that I got. So the books that I purchased in the month of August that I don't have to show you, I think were my these books that I read for the BookTube Prize. And so a couple of them I had purchased from, I just like this lighting is honestly driving me insane. Why is the sun so annoying right now? I just can't deal with this. Hold on one second. So much better. The sun was like coming in at an angle from I think it has switched angles from when I started originally. But anyways, so Jake went and picked up the books for me, and he happened to pick them up on the indie bookshop day, like makeup day. So it was independent bookstore day when he went to Broadway Books, which is our the bookstore that I like to go to because Powell's gets lots and lots of love. So I like to go to Broadway Books personally, unless I'm like looking for something very specific or like out of print that Powell's will have and not Broadway. But because I purchased books and he picked them up on independent bookstore day, they gave us some ARCs. Give me some ARCs. Again, not a huge fan of ARCs. But whatever, I'll take a free book and again, get rid of it if I don't want it. The first one I'm so excited about. I love Ali Wong. I'm so happy. I didn't even realize that she had a memoir coming out. So this is very exciting. This came out a whole year ago. This came out in October of 2019. I obviously don't know a lot about publishing since this book has been out for so long, but that's okay. So this is probably one that I'm going to want to purchase, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm very, very excited about that. Then a couple that I have no idea about. Casting into the Light, Tales of a Fishing Life by Janet Messineo. Not sure about that. But yeah, so this seems like it could be interesting, but I don't know about it. And this one came out in July of 2019. And then the last ARC that they gave us was Things We Didn't Talk About When I Was a Girl by Janine Vanasco. And I also don't know anything about this. This is like quite a dense, heavy book. I'm surprised that it's so heavy for a proof. I feel like they would use less weighty paper, something a little bit cheaper, but whatever, that's fine. So I am interested in this too, and we'll see. There's some people on the back. I don't recognize any of these names though. So, and this is also Tin House. So that's exciting. I guess I didn't see who published these other ones. Random House is fine. All right, and then I received my copy of the Paris Review. Basically, I didn't pick a single one of these books. That's so funny. The Paris Review issue 234, which is fall of 2020. And I haven't read this yet. Oh gosh. Ooh, this art. Oh, beautiful. I love it. They always have like an artist and have the pieces in the middle, and this is beautiful. So I'm looking forward to getting to that eventually. And then the last book I actually purchased for myself. And I saw Bree Hill talking about this, and she had talked about it previously. I don't know why I had always like not purchased it though. So I was just like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to buy it. And that is Passing by Nella Larson. I am really, really excited. I'm surprised at how thin this book is. And there's an introduction. Sorry, my cat just went to the bathroom, and that's why they're scratching. So there's notes at the back. It's only 120 pages, so I'm kind of surprised that, I guess not really, a good author can, you know, pack a punch in a short amount of space. So I'm really, really excited. I'm looking forward to reading this book. I've wanted to read it for so long, and now I finally own it. So next year I will get on that. So yeah, those are all of the books. And now I'm just going to show you my book, what is it called, where the books go in my bullet journal. There we go. So this is my spread for August. I've got a cute little cat doctor because we need doctors, and maybe this cat can help. He can't. I just thought it was cute. I'm sorry, guys. I also gave up, apparently, with my August you know, marking off the calendar. I do this thing, I don't know if I had been doing it previously, but now I do color in the days that I'm on call. So it's kind of nice, like looking at it like that, so I can kind of see. So then I've got my August TBR and the books that I read, and it is sad. But you know, that's okay. Things happen. And you can see that it was sad based on my page count. Also, I read a good amount at the beginning of the year, or a month, I guess, and then it just petered out. But things happen. Oh, and then I have my my indie bookstore day, my little sticker that they gave me. I'm really irritated that this keeps like freaking out. This is last go. We'll see. Sorry, it just like looks when I'm filming that it keeps like and it drives me crazy. So anyways, I had my list of bookstores from Indie Bookstore Day that I usually go to when I go to Seattle, and so I tried to buy one book from each store, and you will see that I did very successful, so that I received these all in September, so I'll do that in my next video. But yeah, so that was that. And then I tried to do a little like the bingo sheet for Dewey's Reverse Read. Oh, I got a bingo! I didn't even notice. I always try to go for blackout because I'm all or nothing, baby. And I've got like my total pages read and hours read and the books that I was trying to read. And I have these cute little stickers. Oh gosh, I just love stickers. And yeah, that's pretty much it for my book balance sheet. I continue to not be successful in trying to lower my TBR. I ended up plus 7 books and plus over 2,000 pages. So again, I've kind of like given up on this year. I know that that's just how it is. All right, so now I'm gonna talk about the movies that I watched. So I feel kind of like annoyed because my computer has been freaking out during this video, and so I feel like my energy and my attitude is not ideal. So in the month of August, I watched quite a few movies. So, I watched Hamilton 1, 2, 3, at least 3 more times. But I think it was more than that. I also rewatched The Farewell. I wanted Jake to watch it, so he doesn't really participate in like our little movie club thing because it starts at 4 o'clock in the morning for me, and you know he's got other stuff to do. But I did want him to watch The Farewell, so we watched that. And we started trying to do this thing where like we each pick 2 movies and put them in a pot, and then like pick randomly from the pot to watch movies every once in a while, because I feel like we weren't watching a ton. So he picked this movie, An Evening with Beverly Loughlin, which I'm going to put movie covers here for all of them. But yeah, this was really weird. It has is it Aubrey Plaza or Audrey? I think it's Aubrey Plaza. And I really like her, and it has Jermaine. So it's like the 2 of them, and Aubrey's character's in love with this guy named Beverly Loughlin, who is played by gosh, I don't know what his real name is, but he's Daryl from The Office. And it's just like a weird, it's a weird movie. I gave it 3 stars. I didn't mind it, but it was very weird. Then we watched The Others, which was a rewatch for me also. Because Jake had never seen it, and I think it's a really spooky, and I really like it. And I was already kind of, I think, like in Halloween mood in August. And then I watched Booksmart. I think I watched Booksmart twice this month. Because I just that you guys, if you haven't watched Booksmart, you really need to watch it. It's on Hulu. It's so funny. It has Jonah Hill's sister plays one of the characters, and they're just so funny, and I love it. And I just like don't even know how to explain it other than it's like the perfect Gen Z movie. Like I feel like it shows all of these different like archetypes of like the Gen Z group of people that are like really fun and flamboyant and like I don't know, like careless. Like I feel like in my generation or like the when I was in high school, everything was much more like segregated with regards to, you know, the band nerds and the football people and like this and that. And so this movie, there's still a little bit of that, but it like really breaks down and shows you, you know, how much more a person is than just like their archetype. Which is just it was just so good. The only thing that made me uncomfortable was like how much. So the two main girls, one of them's a lesbian, and the one that's not a lesbian is like really into getting the one that is a lesbian to like have lesbian sex, and like she's just like into it like a little bit too much, and it made me kind of like she can figure it out on her own, or like I don't know. It was just kind of like a little bit too much for me. There's like a scene where they're watching lesbian porn in a cab that's driven by their principal. It's ridiculous, but it's so much fun. And it's directed by Olivia Wilde, and yeah, I really love that movie. I gave it 4.5 stars, and I put a heart next to it too because I just love it so much. It's so funny, and also I feel like when I was younger, there were so many high school movies. Like you know, there's Drop Dead Gorgeous, Bring It On, 10 Things I Hate About You. I would classify Even Never Been Kissed as kind of a high school movie. Sugar and Spice, Ghost World. I don't know. There were so many in like the late 90s, early aughts, and I don't think that's really like a genre anymore, or like not something that's done a lot. And so it made me feel also kind of nostalgic for that. Mean Girls. You know, there were just so many more movies about the high school experience, or like right before, right after it, and I don't know. Those to me give me like a really good, fun, nostalgic feeling, even though I was not well liked in high school, but that's okay. Next, I watched a movie with one of my patients, you know, because sometimes I have time to watch a little bit. So I watched most of the movie. I couldn't watch all of it, obviously, but it was my cousin Vinny. I do want to watch the full movie from start to finish, even though like I know everything that happens because I've seen it with patients multiple times because people keep picking the same movies. I gave it 3.5 stars. It's pretty funny. It's just kind of annoying because like I don't know what her name is. The chick, she's just so hot, and Vinny is like such a I don't know. Not that him being not hot is the point, but I feel like this was back in the day when like men just had to be funny and women just had to be pretty, and it kind of like grates on me a little bit because of that. But the story is good in general. I just feel like he treats her kind of poorly throughout it, and she is a really strong-willed woman, and she does give as good as she takes. But yeah, he was just kind of like I don't know. I didn't love their like back and forth all the times. Then there's Things to Come, which I don't even. Oh yeah. Is this for our little group on the internet? I think so. So um our theme for this month was women directors, I think. Um and so Things to Come was as a French movie. Um that's all I need to say, right? It has Isabelle Huppert in it. Um, I think that's how you say it, kind of Americanized. I'm sorry. Who is like a really well regarded actress, and she is basically kind of reconnecting with an old student, and it like gets into politics stuff and like her marriage and her career, and just kind of her life, kind of not like falling apart, but it's just looking at a middle aged woman and kind of like things not going well, but like you know, but also kind of like focusing on some positive stuff. So it's just a snapshot in her life, and I really enjoyed it. And then we watched Harriet, which is the Harriet Tubman biopic, and I didn't love this. I gave this 3 stars. I feel like I'm gonna lower it to 2.5. I just don't like biopics. I'm not a huge fan of them, like the genre in general. Um, but it was really interesting because I learned a lot about Harriet Tubman that I didn't know. So, give and take. I would rather have read a biography of her than watched this movie, though, personally. Then we watched Girlhood, which was so good. This one I gave 4 stars to. It's about a group of young, well, I guess really it follows one girl who gets in with kind of like a crew of girls that are like not the best. They like do a lot of fighting and like some shoplifting and stuff. But this girl, I'm gonna start crying thinking about it. She's the oldest child, and so she has to take care of all of her siblings, and like there's just so much pressure on her from her parents, from her siblings, from her like school. And I think there's like a part too where she wants to like retake her test or something, and like the school is basically like, no, like you failed, like you can't do this, you can't do that. And it just kind of shows like how someone who has so much potential can like get in with like a group of like the bad kids, and how like that can set her life in a certain path just because of like the lack of support that she has. And finding like within these girls like this bond, this friendship, even though like things that they do again are not great. There's a lot of like fighting. It was honestly, it was so, I think increase that by a half star and gave it 4.5 stars because that movie, it just like really blew me away. I thought it was so, so good. Then we watched I Am Not a Witch. I wish I could I could tell you who the directors of all these movies are, but I'm not going to because I'm so lazy. And this, actually, I do need to look this up. I don't know where it is set. It is set in an African country. I really wish that I could tell you where. But this is basically about a young girl. Do I say basically enough? I think so. Um, who is convicted of being a witch. And so then she gets sent to like a witch colony. And it's basically like this weird thing of the government trying to get money from tourists by coming and seeing these witches, and they've got like bows on them, and it's really funny. It's kind of like a black comedy, like it's really dark humor, but it is not a happy story, so you have to be okay with some not good things happening to watch it. I cried profusely at the end of the movie. Then we watched Gully Boy. This was an emotional journey, okay? An emotional journey I went on. I think Yamini picked this movie, and I just was yelling like in all caps basically the whole time, because it touched me so much. I think this one's on Amazon. I deleted my Amazon account because I don't need to be giving them money, so I can't rewatch it. Maybe I can rent it somewhere, but it's so good. It's based on the true story of a couple of rappers. I don't know. Is that what they're called? Yeah, street rappers in Mumbai. And so this main character, he comes from the Muslim, like a Muslim community that's quite impoverished, and in India everything's like very caste like oriented, and you can't like really move up in your station and stuff. And so, but he is doing this rapping and like really wants to do this. So it's just so emotional. I can't even describe. I was so mad at him during a really big part of the movie because of how he treats his woman. Like he does not treat her very well, and it's very upsetting, but it's also so uplifting and heartwarming because it's like these people that like don't get to see themselves represented like finally do when he becomes like this big person. And spoiler alert, but it's based on a true story, so hopefully that's not too much of a spoiler. But just seeing representation matters basically is like the point, and it's just so beautiful and heartwarming, but also depressing and upsetting, and you get angry. You get every single emotion that exists on the spectrum you get while watching this movie. I would 100% recommend it. I gave it 4.5 stars, and yeah, so good. Then we watched Little Woods. Can you DNF a movie? Yeah, I DNF'd the movie because it was giving me too much anxiety. This is set in a small town, like in the northern states, and it follows two sisters, and one of them used to kind of run back and forth between Canada and the States, like getting meds and bringing them down, and she stopped doing that though, or she got caught, I think, and now her sister is pregnant and wants to get an abortion, and so they try to go to Canada, I think, to have that happen, or like they try to get enough money. It's just basically it's a lot of like things, and I just it really 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 stressed me out. And there's like one scene, it's probably like four fifths of the way through the movie, but I just had to stop because my anxiety was too high. I couldn't finish it. So I gave that 3.5 stars. It was a good movie. It obviously was good because it gave me so much anxiety, but I can't deal with that much anxiety. Then we watched Shirkers, which is a documentary. I couldn't think of the word for documentary. That's why I made that face, in case you're wondering. Directed by Sandy Tan, and it's about her and her friends when they were younger. They tried to make this movie, and this guy like jacked all the footage, and so they're from Singapore. So it's Sandy. So this is a 1992 teenager Sandy Tan. Oh, the potatoes are ready. Uh, such a long beep. Shot Singapore's first indie road movie with her enigmatic American mentor, George, who then vanished with all the footage. So this is 20 years later. She has received all this footage and now is kind of like doing a documentary, like what happened. So she's like recording her friends, and it's so interesting and so good and like so beautiful because you get the clips. It's just like an art piece. I wonder if there's a Criterion. If there's a Criterion movie of that, I would like to purchase it because it was so good. And yeah, so those are all the movies. Sorry, this video was super long, and again, kind of a mess because I got distracted a couple times and my camera wasn't working very well. Oh, is there a baby behind me? Oh, there's a baby. Okay, so anyways, if you've seen any of these movies or read any of these books and want to chat in the comments, especially if you've read any of the books that I got, because most of those books, all of them except for one, I didn't intentionally purchase for myself, so I would like to know your thoughts on them. That would be super cool, and I will talk to you guys later.